You were not meant to scroll past this message. You were not meant to miss these words. Heaven has timed this moment with precision, and the Spirit of the Lord has drawn you here with sacred intent. This is not just a warning. It is a divine interception. The atmosphere around your life has been watched closely, and a disturbance in the unseen has triggered this message. God Himself has seen what others have missed, and now He speaks not with thunder, but with holy urgency. You, the chosen one, have been marked by God for something greater, but that very mark has drawn opposition. This message reaches you because you are walking too close to a spiritual trap disguised as ordinary. Something has been planted in your environment, not by accident, not by chance, but by design. And now heaven sounds the alarm. This message is not gentle because the hour is not safe. It comes with the weight of divine concern. It comes because the spiritual war surrounding your life has reached a critical point. What you've dismissed as fatigue, confusion, or bad luck, God reveals now as spiritual sabotage. And the most dangerous part, it is happening right where you should have felt most protected, your own space. Before you question your discernment or doubt your intuition, know this: the Lord does not warn without purpose. If your spirit has felt uneasy lately, if you've felt watched, drained, or strangely disturbed, this is the confirmation you've been needing. You are not imagining it. You are being alerted, and heaven is giving you a chance to act before the trap tightens. This is not the time for delay. The message has found you because God is breaking the silence. What has been hidden is now being uncovered. What was planted in secret will be exposed in the light. And you, chosen one, must prepare to confront what you cannot see with your eyes, but what your spirit already senses is real. The time to rise is now. Let no fear silence what you are about to learn. Let no false peace cover what God is now revealing. This is your awakening. Has your spirit felt this battle too? Has something in your environment felt off lately? Type I receive this warning, or share what you've discerned below. Your words may confirm someone else's breakthrough. Chosen one, the danger is closer than you think. It is not coming from outside. It is already inside. Within the very space where you sleep, rest, and try to find peace, something foreign has been introduced. It carries a spiritual signature that does not belong to you. It was planted there with intention, and its goal is not to bless you, it is to bind you. What looks ordinary may in truth be a cursed object, an entry point for torment. It was not created by your hands, but it has found its way into your room, and it is pulling at your mind, your heart, your energy. This item was not bought by accident. It did not arrive in your life by random chance. It was placed or gifted through someone who wore the mask of trust, someone who knew how to smile in your presence and curse you in silence, someone who appeared helpful, even kind, but carried within them jealousy so sharp it pierced the atmosphere of your home. That person didn't need to step over your threshold to do harm, because their energy, their intention, and their spiritual residue were embedded in what they left behind. Now it lurks not visibly but spiritually. It waits in the shadows of your room. It whispers in silence. It disrupts your sleep clouds, your thoughts, and poisons your atmosphere. You may have already felt the shift, sudden tension in a space, once peaceful, unexplained fear near your bed, the sensation of heaviness in a certain corner that refuses to lift. That is not your imagination. That is the spiritual disruption. That is the trap. As C.S. Lewis profoundly observed in the Screwtape Letters, there is no neutral ground in the universe. Every square inch, every split second is claimed by God and counterclaimed by Satan. This truth illuminates the spiritual battle unfolding in your very room. The object you now harbor is not merely a passive item, it is a contested space claimed by dark intentions that seek to counter the divine purpose over your life. Its presence is no accident, it is a deliberate foothold of the enemy, and you must recognize it as such to reclaim your spiritual territory. What you must understand now is that this is not a general attack. It is specific. It was tailored to your life. The object in your room may seem beautiful, harmless, or even sentimental, but its purpose is to serve as a spiritual magnet, attracting misfortune, confusion, and delay into every area of your life. Its very presence is a portal through which despair enters and divine clarity is blocked. As long as it remains, your steps will feel harder, your mind fogged, and your heart inexplicably restless. The Lord is revealing this to you now, because the enemy overplayed their hand. The object was meant to go unnoticed, to slowly unravel you from within. But your spirit, sharpened by pain and preserved by purpose, has begun to sense what your eyes cannot yet see. This message is not just a confirmation, it is your instruction. You must search, you must locate, and you must remove it. God is not sending this word to frighten you. He is sending it to rescue you. You are not being left to figure this out alone. The moment your hand touches what was not meant for you, your spirit will know. The air will shift. Your body will tense. That will be your sign. And when it happens, do not hesitate. Act. The object was never meant to remain, and your breakthrough cannot fully manifest until it's gone. Chosen one, the hand that placed this trap is not unfamiliar to you. It is a hand you once trusted, a presence you allowed near your heart. She came dressed in concern, cloaked in false kindness, and moved with the rhythm of false support. But beneath that soft voice and gentle appearance, there was calculation. Behind the encouragement was envy. Behind the smile was sabotage. She watched you grow. She witnessed the favor of God beginning to surround your life. She saw the doors that began to open, the joy that could not be stolen, and something inside her turned bitter. Not because you wronged her, but because your light exposed her darkness. And instead of rising with you, she decided to restrain you. Instead of blessing your path, she cursed it in secret. C.S. Lewis, in letters to Malcolm chiefly on prayer, wrote, "The real problem of the Christian life comes where people do not usually look for it. It comes the very moment you wake up each morning. All your wishes and hopes for the day rush at you like wild animals. And the first job each morning consists simply in shoving them all back, in listening to that other voice, taking that other point of view, letting that other larger, stronger, quieter life come flowing in. This insight speaks directly to your current struggle. The cursed object in your room amplifies the wild animals of doubt, fear, and confusion that rush at you, drowning out the quiet voice of divine clarity. By removing this object, you are not merely clearing a physical space, you are shoving back the spiritual noise to let God's stronger, quieter life flow into your heart and home. She knew she could not confront you openly, so she took another path. She laced her energy into an object. Perhaps she gave it to you directly, or perhaps she placed it somewhere near you without you knowing. But she marked it spiritually. It carries her jealousy. It carries her resentment. It carries her intent to keep you small, unseen, and spiritually silenced. It is not just a thing, it is her voice in your space, speaking when she's not there, draining when you're asleep, agitating when you try to find peace. She knows where you live. She knows where you sleep. And she knows what would disturb your spirit without leaving a physical mark. This is not just manipulation. This is spiritual violation. The Lord has seen every whisper she spoke when no one was watching. He has watched her study. You mimic, you speak well of you in public, but curse you in private. And now her actions have reached the throne of judgment. God is stepping in not only to reveal her, but to release you. Chosen one, do not be fooled by her appearance. She may still speak to you with kindness. She may reach out to check on you. But God says this: she does not want you free. She wants you bound. Her kindness is strategy. Her softness is deception. Her presence is poison wrapped in politeness. And while others may see her as helpful, heaven sees her as hostile. She has done this before to others who did not survive it spiritually. They were emotionally broken, mentally defeated and spiritually robbed. She got away with it then. But she will not succeed with you, because your name is known in heaven. Your battles are recorded. Your calling is guarded. God is drawing a line in the spirit, and her access is being revoked. This is why you must not delay. You must act before she strikes again. The longer the object stays in your room, the more it feeds on your energy. The more she watches, waiting for signs that it is working. But the moment you rise and remove it, the atmosphere will break, the fog will lift, and her grip will slip. She will feel the shift, and she will panic. But by then it will be too late. You will have awakened. You will have acted. And the trap she set will become the proof that God is still your defender. Chosen one. By now your spirit has already begun to notice the symptoms of this intrusion. What seemed like ordinary fatigue was never ordinary. The weariness that clings to you each morning, even after rest, is not just physical. It is the residue of spiritual disruption. This object, carrying her poisoned intent, has unsettled the atmosphere of your room and unbalanced the rhythm of your mind, emotions, and dreams. Have you noticed the arguments that start without reason, the misunderstandings with people who once understood you deeply, the days that begin with promise but end in confusion? This is not coincidence. This is calculated spiritual interference. The object in your space was meant to cloud your thinking, distort your emotions, and weaken your spiritual clarity. It acts like a fog, quiet but persistent, softening the sharpness of your discernment until you begin doubting yourself, questioning your own reactions, and turning against those who love you. There is a corner in your room that has been feeling heavier than usual. A certain chair, a section of floor, a shadow that lingers longer than it should. That weight is not imagined. It is not psychological. It is spiritual. That is where the object's influence gathers. Objects, like people, carry presence. They retain memory, absorb intention, and radiate energy. And this cursed item is broadcasting her bitterness into your atmosphere. God has seen you try to shake it off. You have prayed. You have cleansed. You have opened windows and burned incense. You've spoken blessings into the air. But still the heaviness remains. Why? Because this is not merely about spiritual practice. It is about spiritual precision. This object must be identified. It must be removed. Because as long as it rests in your environment, it will continue to pull your spirit downward. Even your dreams have been speaking. Strange symbols, old faces, distorted versions of people you know, restless sleep, waking with your heart pounding. All of these are not random signals. They are spiritual alarms. Your subconscious has been trying to warn you that an intruder is present. An energy that does not belong to you has taken root in your sacred space. You may have noticed flickering lights, devices behaving strangely, battery draining quickly, sudden noises that have no explanation. These are not technological faults. They are spiritual indicators. The object in your space acts as a conductor. It carries energy and radiates resistance against peace, against prayer, against purpose. Chosen one. Heaven is not speaking this to scare you. Heaven is revealing this to equip you, because God does not leave his chosen ones in the dark. Every time your spirit whispered something feels off, it was correct. Every moment you hesitated before walking into that room, every time you felt eyes on you, though no one was there, those were not moments of imagination. Those were warnings. And this message is the confirmation your spirit has been crying for. You are not losing your mind. You are not overreacting. You are under spiritual observation, and the Lord is issuing his decree. It is time to cast this thing out. Chosen one, you must understand this clearly. Nothing has escaped the eyes of God. Every moment of confusion, every silent cry, every sleepless night under that cursed atmosphere, he saw it. The Lord watched as the weight pressed on your chest while you tried to rest. He heard the questions you whispered into the dark, the ones no one else could answer. He counted the days when your strength felt stolen, when your clarity was clouded, when your joy was dimmed, and he was not absent. C.S. Lewis, in The Problem of Pain, wrote, God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our consciences, but shouts in our pains. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world. Your sleepless nights, your restless dreams, and the heaviness in your room are not mere inconveniences. They are God's megaphone shouting through your pain to awaken you to the spiritual violation in your midst. The discomfort you feel is not a punishment but a divine alert urging you to act and reclaim the peace that is rightfully yours. But God does not force himself into your battles. He waits for the moment your spirit aligns with heaven's alert. And now, this is that moment. This message did not come late. It came at the final turn, the edge of collapse, the place where darkness hoped you would give up. But you didn't. You endured. You listened. You felt the unease, and now you're ready to act. God allowed this exposure to happen slowly, because he needed you to recognize it. Not just emotionally, not just mentally, but spiritually. He waited for your spirit to awaken, not just so the object could be removed, but so your authority could be reclaimed. Because what is happening here is not just about a cursed object, it is about your identity, about your strength, about your rightful dominion over the space you call your own. The enemy used the object to send a message that you are not safe, not protected, not powerful. But God is sending his own message now. You are his. You are chosen. And you are more protected than your attacker ever realized. The spiritual disruption you felt has now become the platform for a spiritual reversal. But heaven cannot move fully until you do. God is ready to back your obedience with power, but the first step must be yours. Do not ignore what you feel. Do not second-guess what you've discerned. That heaviness, that tension, that fog, those are real signs of a spiritual violation. And God has now placed this decision in your hands. Either tolerate the weight or remove the cause. Heaven will not remove what you continue to accept. But the moment you rise in holy defiance and cast out what never belonged, heaven will respond with fire. This is not just about your peace. This is about the territory of your destiny. Your room is not just a room. It is an altar. It is a sanctuary. And God is calling you to purify it. Not just for today, but for the future. He is preparing. Do not wait for confirmation from people who cannot see what you carry. You are not crazy. You are not paranoid. You are spiritually awake, and now the kingdom is waiting for your next move. Chosen one, the one who brought this darkness into your space, never wanted you safe. She did not want you strong. She did not want you seen. Her desire was never your success. It was your silence. And every word of support she once offered was laced with quiet resentment. She could not rejoice when God lifted you. She could not celebrate when favor followed you, because in her eyes your elevation became her insult. She did not strike with open aggression. No, she hid behind concern, cloaked her envy in compliments and disguised her curses as gifts. She spoke well of you in public, but in secret, she whispered words that twisted the air around your name. She watched your every move, not out of admiration, but to find the right moment to plant what would become a curse in your most sacred space. She studied your patterns, your vulnerabilities, your hopes, and she formed her plan in silence. God reveals now that her jealousy was not a passing emotion. It was a slow-burning fire that drove her to spiritual manipulation. What she could not destroy through words, she sought to corrupt through energy. That object she gave you, perhaps small, perhaps lovely, perhaps seemingly innocent, was her weapon. It carried her breath, her intentions, her venom. It was her silent prayer for your collapse. She may still appear soft. She may still speak gently. But the Spirit of the Lord says, her heart is hard against you. Her motives are not aligned with heaven. She does not wish you well. She wishes you weaker, quieter, and spiritually paralyzed. She could not handle your strength, so she crafted a plan to erode it slowly, invisibly. Do not be deceived by her outer image. Do not excuse what God is now exposing. She is not confused. She is calculated. Her actions were not clumsy, they were deliberate. She knew what she was doing when she left that item. She knew what it would stir in your dreams, what it would shift in your spirit, what it would weigh upon your chest. She has done this before, and the scars of others prove her intent. But with you, it will not succeed. Because you are marked, because you are covered, because your discernment has awakened, and now the curse is unraveling. The time has come to see clearly what you once explained away. God is not revealing her truth to you for gossip. He is revealing it for your protection. He is showing you who she really is, so that you may no longer open the door to her spirit. Even if forgiveness is extended, wisdom must remain. Your mercy does not require her access. Your kindness does not demand your vulnerability. You can bless her from afar, but let her return no more. Heaven has issued the verdict. The veil has been lifted. You now know the truth. She does not wish to walk beside you. She only wants to dim your light. Chosen one, the object is still there. It has not left on its own, and it never will. It was placed with intentionality, and it must be removed with the same resolve. God is not asking you to be afraid. He is commanding you to awaken. The object is not hiding in the shadows by chance. It is positioned where it can influence you most, near the places you rest, pray, or think. Its presence has already begun to blur your thoughts and disturb your peace, and now it waits silently, feeding on what you have not yet confronted. It may appear innocent. It may be beautiful, handcrafted, sentimental, perhaps even a gift tied to a memory you once treasured. But that is the deception. Darkness does not always arrive in obvious form. It wraps itself in the familiar. The cursed object might be under your bed, behind a shelf, inside a drawer, tucked among books or clothing. But no matter its form, your spirit will know. Your body will stiffen. Your chest will tighten. A sudden discomfort will rise in you, not out of fear, but out of spiritual recognition. Do not rationalize it away. Do not say, "It's just a decoration," or "She meant well." You already know the truth. God has given you discernment. The moment you touch the object or draw near it, something in your soul will feel off. That is not paranoia. That is the Holy Spirit signaling confirmation. Do not ignore that signal. You must act with purpose. Remove it, not casually but with spiritual intention. Do not burn it inside your home. Do not bury it in your yard. Do not keep it just in case. Dispose of it far from your dwelling place somewhere. Its energy cannot trace you. And as you carry it out, speak with authority. You no longer have power in my life. You are not welcome here. I break every assignment sent with you. Chosen one. This is not superstition. This is spiritual reality. The object is a point of contact. It is a seed of disruption. And while it remains, it is an open gate for spiritual interference. Heaven cannot fully restore the clarity you need until you shut that gate. You have prayed for peace. You have asked for breakthrough. But now God is asking you to remove what blocks it. After it is gone, your room will begin to breathe again. The heaviness will lift. The confusion will begin to clear. Your prayers will flow. Your thoughts will sharpen. Your emotions will return to balance. Because you were not crazy. You were under spiritual pressure from something that never belonged in your space. This is your act of war. This is your declaration of freedom, and heaven will respond in kind. Chosen one, do not hesitate. Do not wait for further confirmation. The longer that object remains in your space, the deeper its roots grow. Its presence is not dormant, it is active even now. Every moment you delay, it tightens its grip. Not just on your surroundings, but on your clarity, your emotions, your direction. What seems like minor forgetfulness is spiritual interference. What feels like anxiety without cause is spiritual invasion. What looks like ordinary conflict is a symptom of invisible agitation. This object is not passive. It is a vessel of intention, a weapon wrapped in stillness. It was not sent to sit quietly. It was sent to rot your peace slowly, to sabotage your flow gradually, until you begin to mistake dysfunction for normalcy. That is the greatest danger of delay. You begin to adapt to the oppression. You begin to explain away the spiritual erosion. And once you accept the intrusion as just life, it becomes more difficult to break. God is warning you now because the window is still open. The chance to sever this influence is still within reach. But window's close. Energy hardens. And if you allow this thing to stay long enough, it will no longer feel foreign. It will blend into your atmosphere like a toxin in still air, undetectable until it is suffocating. That is the cost of inaction. If you continue to sleep next to it, pray beside it, think near it, it will continue to drain you. You will notice more frequent headaches, more tension without reason, dreams that feel darker, heavier. You may feel surrounded by people, yet strangely alone. That's not spiritual dryness. That's an atmosphere being manipulated. The object is not just affecting you, it is creating misalignment with those around you. Conversations will break down. Trust will be strained. People close to you may begin acting differently, pulled into confusion, misled by emotional currents they do not understand. That is the ripple effect of a cursed item. It disturbs not just your private life, but your divine connections. And the woman who planted this, she is watching from a distance. Not openly, not physically, but spiritually she waits to see if the sabotage is succeeding. Your silence, your delay, your uncertainty, it all empowers her. She will know the moment you rise. She will feel the shift, the instant you reject the object's hold. And that is why you must act quickly and quietly. This is not the time to talk. It is the time to move. This is not the time for explanations. It is the time for discernment. God has sounded the alarm, and now it is your turn to respond. Because if you do not remove what does not belong, you will carry its consequences deeper into your future. But the moment you act, heaven will move with you. The weight will lift, the confusion will break, and your spiritual authority will surge back into place. But do not delay. Do not doubt. The cost is too high. Chosen one, the moment you remove what was never meant to remain, restoration will not wait. It will rush in. It has been standing at the edge of your atmosphere, waiting for clearance. Peace is not lost. It has been blocked. Clarity is not gone. It has been buried beneath the fog of spiritual warfare. But heaven is not slow. The restoration of your soul, your mind, your energy, your atmosphere, it has already been prepared. God has not only revealed the darkness, He has also prepared the light. The moment you cast out the cursed object, your sleep will deepen, your breath will ease, you will wake without heaviness. Your thoughts will align, your emotions will settle, the conversations that were breaking will begin to mend. What felt impossible to organize suddenly becomes clear. Delays will shift. Doors will open. Not because life got easier, but because interference was removed. You will begin to notice signs even in small ways. A call from someone who once distanced themselves. An opportunity you thought had passed. A burst of energy where fatigue once ruled. Even the light in your room will look different. The silence will feel holy, not empty. And you will understand, this is what it feels like to be spiritually free. But God gives this instruction: stay alert. Not everyone who returns is sent by Him. Some will come only to test your new strength. Some will smile, but their motives remain entangled in the same spirit that was just evicted. That includes her. She may sense that her grip has failed. And when she does, she may return not with curses but with softness. A check-in, a message, a gift. Do not accept it. Do not open the door. Do not rekindle what God has just severed. Your restoration is not a suggestion, it is a prophecy. But it requires your protection. What you just fought to cleanse must now be guarded. Your room, your thoughts, your peace, they are your altar now. Do not treat this breakthrough casually. Do not allow the familiar to creep back in under the mask of reconciliation. This is not a time for nostalgia. This is a time for vigilance. God is rebuilding the temple of your atmosphere. Layer by layer, He is restoring what was tainted. He is sending angels to encamp around your sacred space. He is realigning your sleep to match divine timing. You will dream again, but this time without distortion. You will plan again, but this time without delay. You will love again, but this time with wisdom. What was stolen will be returned. What was confused will be clarified. And what was dormant within you will reawaken. Because your restoration has already begun. Chosen one, the moment you rise in spiritual authority, those who once controlled your atmosphere will feel the shift. She will feel it. The bond she forged in secret is broken, and now her influence begins to decay. But understand this. She will not walk away easily. She will not surrender the illusion of power without trying one last time. Her next approach will not be loud. It will be soft, strategic, disguised. She may return with kindness. She may offer a message, an apology, a smile. She may even pretend she's had a change of heart. Do not believe it. What could not destroy you through curses, she now hopes to access through sentiment. Her return will be emotional, gentle, even nostalgic, but heaven warns you, it is not reconciliation. It is re-entry, and you must deny it. She knows her former strategy failed. The object is gone. The atmosphere is shifting. The anointing you carry is too strong to contain. So now she will attempt to present herself as harmless as misunderstood. But this is the same pattern repackaged in softer tones. And if you allow her near again, the cycle will not reset, it will deepen. God is not telling you to hate her. He is not commanding vengeance. He is calling you to wisdom, to spiritual intelligence. You can forgive what she did without reopening the door. You can release her from your heart without granting her access to your life. Your breakthrough is sacred now. Do not trade it for a temporary conversation. Do not invite old energy into your new peace. She may not come herself. She may send someone else, an acquaintance, a mutual friend, a voice from the past. You will know them not by their face, but by the feeling they carry. Your spirit will react. The air will grow tense. Your chest will tighten. That is not anxiety. It is divine instruction. Trust it. Do not second-guess what heaven has already confirmed. The Lord says, do not allow the cycle to restart. Do not let guilt silence your discernment. Her energy is still searching for an entrance, and if it cannot return through gifts, it will try to return through memories, through emotions, through open-hearted words. Guard your door, not just physically, but spiritually. Your silence is now your shield. Your distance is your protection. You do not owe anyone an explanation for why your soul feels lighter. You are not required to justify why your peace matters more than old attachments. This is your moment of elevation. Do not descend to comfort those who once rejoiced in your confusion. She underestimated your spiritual growth. She never thought you would discern her. She never thought heaven would reveal her. But now you know. And now that you've chosen to be free, God says, do not go back. Chosen one, even after the object is gone, and the atmosphere begins to clear, a residue may remain not in your room but in your heart. That residue is the emotional imprint of her manipulation. It lingers in your memory, in moments of hesitation, in echoes of conversations you replay at night. But God says it is time to cleanse not only your space, but also your soul. You must sever the final thread, not with anger, but with authority. This is not about revenge. It is about release. Her name still rests in places. It does not belong your mind, your emotions, your internal dialogue. And until you remove it fully, she will still have a whisper of influence. That is why heaven is calling you to a holy act of finality. Take a piece of paper. Write her name on it. Her true name, not just what you call her, but who she has revealed herself to be through her actions. Fold it with intention. Hold it in your hand and speak aloud. You no longer live in my space, my heart, or my memory. Your influence is broken. I release you now, and I reclaim all that I gave away. Then burn it safely, intentionally, far from where you sleep. As the smoke rises, know this: you are not just burning paper, you are destroying access. You are closing the final gate she once slipped through. Let the flame carry every tie into nothingness. Let heaven witness your obedience, and let the Spirit of God seal your release. This ritual is not superstition, it is symbolic alignment. It is your spirit coming into agreement with what heaven has already decreed. Her time in your story is over. From this point forward, her name will no longer stir confusion in your heart. Her voice will no longer echo in your thoughts. Her energy will no longer touch your peace. You are clean, and when the ritual is done, speak life back into your space. Walk your room and declare aloud, "This is holy ground. This is a sanctuary. No shadow dwells here. Only light remains." Let your words reframe every corner. Let them realign the spiritual tone of your home. Your voice now carries weight, because you have obeyed. What once invaded must now flee. What once confused must now bow. From this moment on, you walk lighter, not just because the object is gone, but because the soul tie is severed. You no longer carry the weight of her thoughts, her intentions, her expectations. You are free. You are sealed. You are ready for what comes next. Chosen one, something sacred has taken place. You may not see it in full yet, but in the spirit, it is done. What you just walked through was not just cleansing, it was resurrection. You have crossed a threshold that few recognize and fewer survive. The place where spiritual bondage tried to suffocate your purpose is now the very altar where your power is being restored. This is your rebirth, not a symbolic one, a real spiritual awakening. The heaviness that sat on your chest has lifted. The fog around your mind has begun to clear, and what once felt like resistance now begins to break before you. Your spirit has been loosed from the web of her deception, and heaven has re-established your authority in the realm she tried to manipulate. You will notice the change, not just in how you feel, but in how you are received. People may not understand it, but they will sense it. Your presence will now carry a depth that wasn't there before. Your words will hold more weight. Your silence will pierce confusion. Your eyes will reflect peace even when storms rage around you. Because you are no longer walking as one unaware, you are walking as one awakened. God is not returning you to who you were before her intrusion. He is advancing you into something greater. That version of you who trusted blindly, who ignored spiritual signals, who carried the weight of false loyalty, that version has died. And in its place stands someone refined, spiritually mature, and fiercely protected. You will begin to receive what was once delayed. The visions you had shelved will return. The plans you paused will gain momentum. The love you thought lost will be redefined and healed. You will walk into rooms you once felt small in and take your place with quiet confidence, not because you fought for it, but because heaven opened the way. The atmosphere around you will now respond to your presence, because your spirit is no longer bound by manipulation. There is a glow returning to your face, a sharpness returning to your voice, a stillness returning to your sleep. These are not accidents. These are markers of rebirth. Your home is no longer a battlefield. It is becoming a sanctuary again. Your room is not just rearranged, it is reanointed. And your peace is not just returning, it is being multiplied. Chosen one, do not mourn what you've lost in this battle. Every tear you cried was counted. Every moment of confusion was recorded. And heaven is repaying you with wisdom, clarity, and acceleration. What took others years will now take you months. What once felt unreachable is now within grasp, because the chains are broken. The grip is gone. The chosen one has risen. You are no longer under spiritual observation. You are under divine assignment. Chosen one now, that your eyes have been opened and your spirit awakened. Know this, You are stepping into a timeline that was always yours but long delayed. The cycle is broken, the shadows have lifted, and what once hindered you can no longer find you. The interruption is over. You are no longer entangled in invisible warfare. You are seated in divine covering. You do not need to explain what just happened. Not everyone will understand the weight of this victory, and they don't have to. What matters is that you obeyed. You listened. You acted. You trusted the whisper that said, "This is not right," and that obedience has shifted your atmosphere. You are not the same. Something in you has been permanently altered, elevated, reinforced, and refined by fire. Let no one draw you back into old patterns. Let no voice, no memory, no manipulation re-enter the sanctuary that God has now reclaimed as holy ground. From this moment forward, your silence will carry power. Your stillness will release clarity, and your discernment will sharpen to detect spiritual deception before it ever touches your peace. You may feel a strange quiet now, a holy stillness that settles over your room. That is not emptiness. That is divine protection. Do not rush to fill it with noise or people. Let the stillness teach you. Let it restore you. Let it remind you of who you are, without the confusion of others' projections. This is where your spirit breathes again. Heaven is preparing someone new to step into your life. Someone pure. Someone truthful. Someone sent not by chance, but by divine instruction. Your space, your heart, your destiny has been reset to receive higher love, greater insight, and unhindered growth. But first, stay hidden a little longer. Let the Lord seal what He has started. There will be signs, a bird that appears at your window, a beam of light that strikes differently, a whisper in your sleep. These are confirmations from heaven. You are covered. You are clean. You are chosen. And the woman who tried to entangle your life with curses will now witness your rise from a distance. She will not understand the force that surrounds you. She will not penetrate the wall of light that heaven has drawn around you, because her time in your story is over. Do not seek revenge. Her downfall is not your responsibility. Her choices have already summoned consequences. God is her judge. Your role is to rise, quietly, powerfully, without apology. Let your glow be the rebuke. Let your growth be the reply. What once sought to bury you has now become the evidence of your divine resilience. From this day forward, everything shifts. Every step will feel lighter, every breath more sacred, every dream more vivid. Because you are not just protected, you are awakened. You are not just restored, you are reborn. And your name has passed through the fire and emerged sealed in glory.